Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today, it is September 25th, 2022. It's on Sunday today. It's sunny outside. The island used to be a remote island not connected to any land. But after the eruption, the volcanic mountain was linked to the mainland of Honshu. After the volcanic eruption, the mountain was linked to the mainland. The bridge links Awaji Island and Honshu Island. Akashi Kaikyo Bridge links Awaji Island to the mainland of Honshu. After the eruption, the mountain was linked to the mainland. After the eruption, the mountain was linked to the land. After the eruption, the mountain was linked to the land. After the eruption, the mountain was linked to the land. The detectives are sure that the crime is linked to more criminals. The mountain was linked to the land after the eruption. After the eruption, the mountain was linked to the land. After the eruption, the mountain was linked to the land, linked to the land, linked to the land, linked to the land. After the eruption, the mountain was linked to the land. After the eruption, the mountain was linked to the land. After the eruption, the mountain was linked to the land. Please link the cable A to the cable B. Please cable A with the cable B. Please link the cable A to the outlet. Please link the cable A with the outlet to start to obtain the electricity. The sandbar links the mountain and the island. The sandbar links the island with the island, the mountain. The sandbar links the mountain with the mainland of Honshu. The sandbar links the land and the mountain. The sandbar links the mountain with the island. The sandbar links the mountain and with the island. The sandbar links the mountain with the island. The sandbar links the mountain to the island. The sandbar links the mountain to the island. The sandbar links the mountain with the island. The sandbar links the mountain with the island. The sandbar links the island with the mountain. The sandbar links the mountain and the island. The mountain and the island are linked by the sandbar. The fingerprint linked. The fingerprint linked to the criminals. The fingerprint linked to the criminals. The small three villages linked. The three small villages linked. The three small villages linked. The three small villages linked. The internet didn't link for a time being when we were cruising in the middle of the ocean. When we were on the voyage, the internet did not link for the time being when the ship was going in the middle of the ocean. Now the internet links. Now that the internet is available, we can link to the internet whenever we are, mostly. The internet links almost whenever we are, no matter where we are, almost no matter where we are. The detectives are searching for the links to the crimes. The detectives are investigating the man, whether or not he is linked to the crimes. The detectives are investigating the facility to see whether or not the facility is linked to the crime. We are not allowed to talk about the topic which is not linked to today's theme. We are not allowed to talk about the topic which is not linked to our theme, today's theme. We are not allowed to talk about the topic which is not linked to today's theme. It came to light that celebrities linked to the antisocial group. It came to light that the celebrity was getting along with antisocial group, and he had the intimate link to antisocial group. It came to light that the company had the link to the antisocial group. It came to light that the company had the link to the antisocial group, violent group. We cannot avoid the link to him. When it comes to the company, we cannot avoid the link to him. When it comes to job, we cannot avoid the link to communicating with people. When it comes to job, we cannot avoid the link to communicating, interacting with people. The man confessed his link to the crime. 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 The man is suspected of the link to the crime. The man is suspected of the link to the crime. The detectives are searching for another clue to the crime, and the company's link to the crime. The police officers are searching for the company's link to the wrongdoings. The police officers are searching for the other criminals' link. The criminal's link to other crimes. The police officers are searching for the man's link to other crimes. The police officers are looking for his link to other crimes. The police officers are searching for his link to other crimes. Many festivals have the link to rituals. Many festivals have the link to rituals. What is the difference between link and linkage? Linkage. The linkage of the three villages developed into a vibrant one, with many shops and restaurants. The linkage The linkage of three villages developed into a vibrant one, gathering many shops and restaurants and many companies inside. Linkage, linkage. Linkage, 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 linkage. I'd like to cherish my linkage with you. I'd like to cherish my linkage to you. Linkage, 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 linkage. The linkage between the company and antisocial group were confirmed, came to light, was confirmed and came to light. The linkage between the company and the antisocial group came to light. Is there a linkage between A and B? Is there a linkage between A and B? Linkage, linkage. I cannot find the linkage between A and B. Is there a linkage, such as a bridge between the island A and island B? Is there a link? Is there a link to the island? Is there a linkage between the island B and island A? The linkage between the company A and the antisocial group came to light, which was criticized by the citizens, society. The linkage between the celebrity A and the celebrity B is very popular. They are very good. They are on good terms with each other. They are getting along with each other. They are on good terms with each other. The linkage between the celebrity and the restaurant is very famous. The linkage between my best friend and me has been such a long. The country A might put another economic sanction on the country B for the wrongdoing. The country A put another sanction on the country B. Economic sanction is one of the ways to impose for something wrongdoing. Economic sanction is one of the ways to impose on others for doing something. For something. Without sanctions, you cannot operate this machine. Without sanctions, you cannot start the project. Without sanctions, you cannot enter the room. Without sanctions, you cannot enter the room. Without sanctions, you cannot enter the room. Without sanctions, you cannot start the business. Without sanctions, you cannot start the business. The country A is planning to impose 2 or 3 more sanctions on the country B. The country A is planning to put 2 or 3, a couple of sanctions on country B. I have no doubt that you can get the sanctions to operate the machine soon. I have no doubt that you can get the sanctions to get the credit card soon because you are very credible, you are reliable. Sanctions, 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 sanctions. After getting the sanctions, you can start the business. Without sanctions, you cannot start your 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 business. Without sanctions, you cannot start the business. Without sanctions, you cannot start the business. Without sanctions, you cannot start your business. After getting the qualification, you can start the business. But without sanctions, you cannot start the business. I got the sanctions to start the research from the boss, from the CEO. I directly went to the CEO to get the sanctions to start the business. The researcher directly went to the CEO to get the sanctions to start the research. The country A sanctioned the country B. 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 The country A is planning to sanction country B. The country A is going to The specialists predict that the country A will sanction country B. The experts predict that the country A will sanction country B. The experts predict that the country A will sanction country B. Sanction. To my surprise, my idea was sanctioned. To my surprise, my crazy idea was accepted. 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 To my surprise, my crazy idea was sanctioned. To my surprise, to my and everyone's surprise, my crazy idea was sanctioned. Sanctioned. To my surprise, my crazy idea was sanctioned at the board of directors. At the board of directors. Board of directors. To my surprise, my crazy idea was sanctioned at the board of directors. To my surprise, my idea was sanctioned at the board of directors. Hopefully, my application was sanctioned at the receptionist at the association which is hosting the examination. Fortunately, my application for the examination has been sanctioned at the association, at the department, at the examination department. Fortunately, my application for the examination has been sanctioned at the association which is hosting the examination. The country A is planning to impose a couple of economic sanctions on the country B. The country A put tougher sanctions on the country B. The country A put tougher sanctions on country B. To my surprise, I got sanctions to start research from my boss. To my surprise, I could get the sanctions to start the business with high risk from my boss. To my surprise, I could get the sanctions to start the risky business from my CEO, Chief Executive Officer, General Director, Executive Director, General Director. To my surprise, I could get the sanctions to start the risky business from my Chief Executive Officer. As the experts put it, the country A will sanction country B. As experts put it, As the expert put it, as the expert put it, as the expert put it, the country A will sanction country B. As the experts put it, the country A will sanction country B. To my surprise, my crazy idea was sanctioned at the board of directors. To my and everyone's surprise, my crazy idea was sanctioned at the board of directors. Fortunately, my application for the position has been sanctioned at the association. Fortunately, my application for the position has been sanctioned by the association. As the experts put it, as a specialist 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 put it, the country A will sanction country B. As a specialist put it, the country A will impose sanctions on country B. As a specialist put it, the country A sanction country B. To my surprise, my crazy idea was sanctioned at the board of directors. We have the ruling and opposition party, both ruling and opposition party. Are you opposed to the plan? Are you opposed to my itinerary? Are you opposed to the recently enacted policy? Opposition. Opposition. His opposition was obvious from his expression on his face. His opposition was obvious, clear, evident from his face. His opposition was clear from his face. His opposition was obvious from his face. He looked angry. He looked frowned. He looked frowning. Are you in opposition to the policy? Are you in opposition to higher tax? Many people will be in opposition to higher tax. Many people will be in opposition to higher tax. Many people will be in opposition to higher tax. Many people will be in opposition to higher tax. Many people will be in opposition to higher tax. Many people will be in opposition to higher tax. His opposition to the plan was obvious from his face. His opposition to the policy was obvious from his face. He made his opposition clear by saying no. He made his opposition clear by shaking his head. By shaking his head, he made his opposition clear. He made his opposition clear. He made his opposition clear by shaking his head and saying no. He made his opposition clear. He made his opposition clear by shaking his head. He made his opposition clear by shaking his head. He made his opposition clear by shaking his head. He made his opposition clear by shaking his head. I used to be in opposition to the policy, but I've changed my mind. I'm in favor of the policy now. I used to be in opposition to the plan, but I've changed my mind. I can accept it now. I think many people will be in opposition to challenging new things, changing to new things, because many of them are afraid of changing. In opposition to, in opposition to, in opposition to, in opposition to, in opposition to the newly enacted notorious policy, the demonstration was conducted. The post office used to be located in the opposite side of the convenience store. There is a post office on the opposite side of the convenience store. There used to be a post office on the opposite side of the community center. There used to be a post office on the opposite side of the community center. But now, the facility for the post office was turned into a kindergarten for a reason. My ideas are usually opposite to others. My ideas are 180 degrees opposite to others. My ideas are usually 180 degrees opposite to others. My ideas are usually 180 degrees opposite to others. My ideas are usually 180 degrees opposite to others. My ideas are usually 180 degrees opposite to others. My friend was waiting for me at the opposite side of the station. That's why I couldn't meet him. My friend was waiting for me at the opposite side of the station, west exit, and I was waiting for him at the east exit. Approximately 50% of the residents opposed the plan. Approximately 60% of the residents opposed the higher tax. Half of the residents opposed the plan. 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 It doesn't mean I'm opposing your plan. It doesn't mean I'm opposing your plan. When I suggested my idea to my boss, he frowned and opposed it. When I put my idea forward to my boss, he frowned and rejected it, opposed it. As opposed to my uncle, my father doesn't care about fashion. As opposed to my uncle, my father doesn't care about fashion. Does your father care fashion? Do you care your fashion? As opposed to the right side of the driving seat in Japan, many other countries adopt left side driving seat. As opposed to the right side of the driving seat, many other countries adopt left side driving seat. As opposed to, 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 as opposed to many everyone else's. I go my own way. My ideas are very unique, or even crazy. As opposed to the cars going on the left side in Japan, many cars are going on the right side in many other countries. As opposed to the cars going on the left side, left lanes, the cars are going on the right side in many other countries. As opposed to as opposed to many other people, my ideas are very different and unique. My ideas are very unique and crazy, as opposed to others. As opposed to everyone else's, my ideas are very unique. As opposed to everyone else's, my ideas are totally different from those. As opposed to yellow New York cabs, the taxis in London are black. As opposed to the yellow New York cabs, the taxis in London are black. As opposed to everyone else's, my ideas are totally different. As opposed to. As opposed to other music store, the store still deals in VHS tapes. When I put forward my idea proposal, my boss opposed. My boss opposed immediately. When I handed in, turned in, submitted my proposal, my boss rejected, turned in, dismissed, opposed immediately. Opposed. Many people will make a resolution to achieve something on the New Year's, but I'm sure not many people will keep the promise, keep the resolution. Many people will make a resolution to achieve something on the New Year, but I'm sure not many people will make it through. According to the resolution enacted in the council, street smoking is banned here. According to the resolution enacted by the council, street smoking is banned here. The council is searching for best resolutions to the problem. The council is searching for best resolutions to the problems. What was your New Year's resolution? What is your New Year's resolution? What is your New Year's resolution? New Year's resolution. What was your New Year's resolution? What was New Year's resolution? What was your 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 New Year's resolution? The resolution to ban street smoking was enacted at the council. The municipal council made the resolution, enacted the resolution to ban street smoking. The municipal council enacted the resolution, passed the resolution into law to ban street smoking. The Security Council passed the resolution to impose sanctions on the country. According to the resolution passed by the council, street smoking is banned here. Resolution. The municipal council is searching for resolutions to the problems. The government is seeking better resolutions to the problems, issues, conflicts. The government is looking for the best resolutions to the issues, conflict, territorial dispute. Many people will make a resolution to achieve something on the new year, but I'm sure not many people will make it. The government is seeking the best resolutions to the problem. The government is seeking the best resolutions to the problem. The government is seeking the best resolutions to the problem. The government is seeking the best resolutions to the issues. Both country A and B is moving toward the resolution. For the resolution, both country A and country B are moving towards the resolution. My resolution in this year was to challenge something new, more than last year. My resolution of this year is to challenge more things than last year, the previous year. My resolution of this year, for this year, is to challenge more things than previous year. Resolution. The municipal council passed the resolution to ban street smoking. The municipal council passed the resolution. The municipal council passed the resolution to ban street smoking. The territorial dispute is far from the resolution. My decision was resolute already when I was a junior high school student. My determination to become a doctor was resolute already back when I was a junior high school student. resolute. Her determination is already resolute, so no one can hold her back. Her resolution is resolute. Her decision is resolute. So no one will be able to hold her back. No one will be able to hold her back. No one will not be able to hold her back. No one will not be able to hold her back. She is resolute, 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 resolute. She is resolute, 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 resolute. Resolute. Resolute, 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 resolute. Resolute, 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 resolute. My determination was already resolute back when I was at junior high school. Resolute, resolute. Are you resolute or not? Are you resolute or still thinking? 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 Are you resolute? Resolute or still thinking? I resolved to be a diplomat when I was in my 20s. I resolved to be a doctor in my 20s. I resolved to be a singer in my teens. Do you know how to resolve the problem? Resolve the problem. Do you know how to resolve the problem? Do you know how to resolve the problem? Do you know how to resolve the problems? Do you know how to resolve the problem? 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 According to the information from the experts, the bill will be resolved at the council today. According to our information, the bill will be enacted. The bill will be resolved at the diet house. The ordinance was enacted. The ordinance was enacted. The ordinance was resolved at the municipal council. The ordinance was enacted. The ordinance was resolved at the council. At the council. I'd like to resolve the problems. The government is seeking the ways to resolve the problems. The government has been seeking the ways to resolve the issues. The government is seeking the ways. The government is seeking the ways to resolve the problems. Resolve. I couldn't resolve to be a mathematician when I was a high school student. I couldn't resolve anything for my future back when I was a high school student. I couldn't resolve anything back when I was a junior high school student. I was too young. After experiencing some things, I could know what I wanna do for my future in my life. I couldn't resolve what I wanna do for my future, for my life, back when I was a high school student. I resolved to study English forever back when I was a junior high school student. I resolved to study English. I resolved to study English forever when I was a junior high school student. I resolved to study English forever back when I was a junior high school student. I resolved to study English forever back when I was a junior high school student. I resolved to study English forever back when I was a junior high school student. It's very easy to say, but you've got to put it into practice. It's very easy to say, but you've got to put it into practice. It's very easy to say, but you've got to put it into practice. It's very easy to say, but very difficult to put it into practice. The government is seeking the ways to resolve the problems. The government is seeking ways to resolve the problems. The municipal council resolved the bill. The municipal council resolved the ordinance to ban street smoking. The municipal council resolved the ordinance to ban street smoking. The municipal council voted to ban street smoking. The municipal council resolved the ordinance to ban street smoking. The municipal council resolved the ordinance to ban street smoking. The municipal council resolved the bill, ordinance, policy to ban street smoking. The municipal council resolved the ordinance to ban street smoking. The municipal council resolved the ordinance to ban street smoking. The municipal council resolved the ordinance which allow mikoshi or portable shrine will be carried along the road during the festival. The municipal council resolved the ordinance which allowed the mikoshi or portable shrine will be carried on the road during the festival. The government is seeking ways to resolve the problems. The government is seeking the ways to resolve the problems. The government is seeking ways to resolve the problems. I couldn't resolve anything. I couldn't resolve at all. I couldn't resolve at all back when I was a junior high school student. I resolved yesterday. I resolved so yesterday. I resolved. I had already resolved when I was junior high school student. I had already resolved when I was junior high school student. The newly found evidence determined that the man was responsible for the mistake. The newly discovered data determined that the man was responsible for the mistakes. The particles obtained from the asteroid or minor planet determined that the asteroid water existed in the past in the planet. The particles obtained from the asteroid determined there used to be water in the planet. I've determined that I will study abroad. I have determined that I will study abroad. I've determined that I study abroad. The couple had already determined that they would marry each other when they were high school students. The couple was already determined. The couple determined that they would marry when they were when they were high school students. The newly discovered fossil fuels determined that there was civilization in the village. The newly discovered pottery and porcelain in the soil determined that there was a life in the area. Are you determined to achieve your goal? Are you determined to go abroad? Are you determined to study 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 abroad? I have to determine about whether or not I should accept the offer by Friday. I have to determine about whether or not I should accept the job offer. I have to determine about whether to accept the job offer. I have to determine about whether I should take on the job offer. I have to determine about whether I should undertake the job offer by Friday. The determination was made with many exceptions. It usually takes much time to reach the determination. For me to reach determination, reaching the determination usually takes time for me. It usually takes more time than average for me to reach the determination. The determination to hold the fireworks display took everyone surprised since 3 years. The determination to call off the festival, which has not been called off ever, took everyone by surprise. The governor's determination to call off the festival, which had not been called off ever, took everyone by surprise. The governor's determination to call off the festival, which had not been called off ever, took everyone by surprise. Determination. I removed all of the temptation from my room as the determination to study harder. I cut off all connections to concentrate on my study and as the determination to study harder until I achieved my goal. It usually takes much more time for me to reach determination. The determination to ban smoking is nothing special. The determination of The determination of holding the event is nothing special. The determination of merging the two companies surprised us. We were surprised at the determination to postpone the event until next year. I am determined to study abroad. Determined. Determined. I am determined to study abroad. The couple had already been determined to marry each other when they were junior high school students. The couple were already determined to marry. The couple were determined to marry, to get engaged to each other, to get married to each other when they were junior high school students. The couple had already been determined to get engaged to each other, get married to each other when they were junior high school students. The country A imposed economic sanctions to country B. Don't let me add additional impositions. Don't give me additional impositions. Don't give me additional impositions. Don't let customers give other additional impositions. Imposition. The imposition of taxes is affecting me a lot. The imposition of taxes affecting me a lot. The imposition of taxes are affecting a lot of people, including me. The imposition of taxes are affecting many people, including me. Not you, but also I am being affected by the imposition of the taxes. I, as well as you, am being affected by the imposition of taxes. Imposition. Don't increase the amount of imposition. Please do not increase the amount of imposition to me. The mistakes from the employee increased the amount of imposition of our workload. The duty has a lot of imposition of responsibility instead of higher salary. The position has such a huge imposition of responsibility instead of higher salary. Imposition. Rich people are paying more imposition of taxes. Imposition. The imposition of new taxes were criticized by the citizens. The new imposition of the taxes. The positions of new taxes was criticized by the citizens. Imposition. Imposition. Some kids are imposed curfew. Some kids are imposed curfew by their parents. Some kids have the imposition of curfew. 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 Imposition. Some kids have the imposition of curfew. Imposition. The imposition of taxes. The imposition of taxes. The imposition of taxes. The imposition of taxes. The imposition of the limitation of playing video games. Many kids have the limitation to how long they can play the video games. Kids usually have the limitation to the time when they can play the video games. They have such imposition. Kids usually have the imposition of how long they can play the video games. Kids usually have the imposition of how long they can play video games. Imposition. The imposition of the new ordinance was criticized by the citizens. The imposition of the curfew is often imposed to the kids. The kids often have the imposition of curfew of by what time they have to go back home. Kids usually have the imposition of the curfew of by what time they have to go back to home. Are you disagree with me or not? Are you disagree or agree with me? I used to disagree to the plan, but I've changed my mind. Do you disagree with me? Or do you agree with me? Do you agree with me? Do you agree or disagree with me? Do you disagree or agree with me? I used to disagree to the plan, but I've changed my mind. I agree to the plan. I agree to the plan now. Disagreement. His disagreement was obvious from his expression on his face. His disagreement was obvious from his expression on his face. His disagreement was obvious from the expression of his face. His disagreement was obvious from his face, from his expression. His disagreement, because his disagreement was obvious from his expression. Because his disagreement was obvious from his expression on his face. I try not to be disagreeable. I try not to be disagreeable. I try not to be disagreeable. 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 I try not to be disagreeable. The receptionist of the hotel was disagreeable, so I will not stay in the hotel again. The receptionist of the hotel was disagreeable, so I will not stay in the hotel again. The receptionist of the hotel was disagreeable, so I will not stay in the hotel. disagreeable, 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 disagreeable. Some stuffs are disagreeable. Some stuffs are disagreeable. While most of the staffs in the store were very friendly and kind and very helpful, some others were disagreeable. Disagreeable. Some people are 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 disagreeable. Disagreeable. Some people are disagreeable. Some people are disagreeable. Some people are disagreeable. Some people are disagreeable. The receptionist of the hotel was such disagreeable, so I will not stay in the hotel again. Sorry to be disagreeable because I was in a bad mood. Sorry to be disagreeable last night because I was in a bad mood, because I was on bad spirits, because I was on bad spirits. Because I was on bad spirits. I'm sorry to be disagreeable to you yesterday because I was in a bad mood, because I was on bad spirits. Disagreeable. 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 And since some trees were blocking the road, so we couldn't reach the destination. After the typhoon, the road was blocked by the timbers, by the trees. After the typhoon, some trees fell down, and some of the trees were blocking the road, which affected our commuting. After the typhoon, some trees fell down and blocking the road, so we couldn't reach the top of the mountain. The boxer succeeded in blocking all of the attacks from the opponent. The boxer either escaped or blocked all of the attacks from the opponent. The boxer blocked all of the attacks from the opponent. The boxer either blocked or escaped from all of from all the attacks from the opponent. The boxer blocked all the attacks from the opponent. There are a range of collections in this museum. You can enjoy looking at a range of collections of butterflies here. A range of. There are a range of people in this world. There are a range of creatures in this world. There are a range of creatures in this world out there across the world. There are a range of creatures in this world. Many people will target getting more than 900 scores on TOEIC test. Many people will target getting more than 900 scores on TOEIC test. Many people will target more than 900 score on TOEIC test. I've achieved it already. I achieved it a few years ago. What is your target for this year? What is your target for this year? What is the target of this year? What is the target for this year? What is the target in this year? Getting more than 900 score on TOEIC test is many people's target. Many people will target getting more than 900 score on TOEIC test. One of the targets in this year is to pass the examination, which will be held soon. I'd like to target buying a house. No. I will target living in a foreign country. I will target living in a foreign country. I will target winning the lottery. I will target winning her. I will target winning her. I will target having a week holidays. I will target getting a week holidays to enjoy my vacation, to enjoy my time in foreign country. The scary news prevented me from going abroad. The scary news kept me from going abroad. The scary news stopped me from going abroad. The scary news reined in me from going abroad. Reined me from going abroad. The scary news reined me from going abroad. The scary news reined me from going abroad. The scary news reined in me from going abroad. The state of emergency reined in the citizens from traveling. The state of emergency reined in the citizens from going abroad and traveling in domestically too. The state of emergency reigned in the citizens from traveling domestically. The state of emergency reigned in the citizens from traveling domestically. The state of emergency reigned the citizens from traveling. The state of emergency reigned the citizens from traveling. Rain. The state of emergency reigned the citizens from going abroad. The state of emergency reigned the citizens from from traveling. The state of emergency reigned in the citizens from traveling, even domestically. The state of emergency rain the citizens from traveling to some extent, to a certain extent, to some degrees. The state of emergency reigned in the citizens from traveling. The state of emergency reigned in the citizens from traveling. My limited budget reigned me from buying the watch. My limited salary reigned me from buying the watch. My limited salary reigned me from moving to better apartment. My limited salary reigned me from moving to a better apartment. My low salary reigned me from going abroad, traveling abroad. And there are many factors reining me from traveling, challenging. There are many factors reining in me from challenges. There are many factors reining in me from challenges. There are many factors reining us from challenging. 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 The law will rein us to some extent, so that we won't commit a crime. The law will rein in us to some extent, to a certain degree, to some degrees, to a certain degree, to a certain content. The law will rein us. The law will rein us to some extent, to a certain extent. The law and constitution, ordinance, policy will rein us from committing a crime. The law will rein in us. The law will rein us. The law will rein us. The law will rein us to some extent. The law will rein us. The law will rein us to some extent, to a certain extent. The law will rein us. For all typhoon, the festival was held. For all typhoon, the festival was held. For all typhoon, the festival took place on schedule. With all typhoon, the festival was held on schedule, as scheduled. On schedule, as scheduled. For all typhoon, the festival took place on schedule, as scheduled. For all typhoon, torrential rain, heavy rain, strong wind, The festival was held on schedule, as scheduled. With all typhoon, the festival took place on schedule. The festival took place on schedule. For all out of fever, for all high fever, the employee worked overtime to finish a pile of tasks. For all high fever, the employee worked overtime to finish a heap of tasks. With all midnight, we pitched in to finish a pile of tasks. With all midnight, we pitched in order to finish a heap of tasks. For all exhaustion, I went shopping to buy food before typhoon arrived. With all finishing my lunch, I went to the restaurant with my friends. For all no interest in the field, I went to listen to the lecture. With all no interest in the field, the subject, I went to listen to the lecture. For all the expensive price, the rich people bought many things without thinking. I want to be as rich as them. I want to be as rich as them. Enough not to be able not to think about the prices at all. Enough not to think about the prices at all. I'd like to be rich enough to be thinking nothing about the prices. For all midnight, traffic jam happened. With all midnight, traffic jam happened. For all midnight, traffic jam happened. With all midnight, traffic jam happened. Can I use margarine instead of butter? Can I use margarine instead of butter? Everyone can apply for the position irrespective of academic records. Everyone can apply for the position irrespective of academic records. The festival is usually held irrespective of the weather condition. The festival is known to be held anytime irrespective of the weather condition. The festival is known to be held anytime irrespective of weather condition, irrespective of weather. No matter how strong wind it is, the festival is held irrespective of weather. Irrespective of weather, no matter how strong the wind is, no matter how heavily the rain is raining, no matter how heavily it is raining, no matter how heavy it is raining, the festival is held irrespective of the weather, irrespective of the weather. Irrespective of the weather. I realized that the celebrity was sitting next to me. I realized that the celebrity had been sitting next to me after the concert. I didn't realize. Someone is always next to someone in schools. Someone is always next to someone. I'd like to eat something other than Japanese food when I go to a foreign country. Whenever I go to a foreign country, I try to eat something other than Japanese food. Whenever I go abroad, I try to eat something other than Japanese food. The flight has been cancelled owing to inclement weather. Owing to inclement weather, on account of inclement weather, because of inclement weather. I try to reach international airport at least 2 hours prior to the departure. I try to reach the international airport at least not less than 2 hours before the departure, just in case. The festival is known to be held regardless of the weather. The festival is known regardless of the weather. The festival is known to be held anytime, regardless of the weather. Thanks to the spread of the internet, we can communicate with people from all over the world very quickly, easily. My doctor advised that I should take the medicine together with water. My doctor advised that I take the medicine together with the water. My teacher told me read up to 3 pages a day. My teacher told me to read the book up to page 6 by the next class. Our teacher told us to read the textbook up to the page 6 and by the next class. Our teacher told us to read the textbook up to page 6 by the next class. We walked as far as the station because we wanted to save our money, and it was not so. We didn't feel so long because we were enjoying our conversation while walking to the station. It was a good idea. The smoke coming out from the volcano came up to us. I walked up to the station together with my friends, enjoying the talking, enjoying the conversation. I walked up to the station, enjoying the conversation while walking. We walked up to the station while enjoying our conversation, so we didn't feel it so long, although it was about 5 kilometers between the stations. We walked up to the station, enjoying our conversation during the walk. Although it is about 5 kilometers, we didn't feel it so long because we were enjoying our conversation. Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time. See you.